Okay, so welcome. Thanks for being here. We'll start with the chant as always, but for today's class, we'll need a couple of props. So I have a blanket, but if you don't have a blanket, you can also grab a towel. Just a bath towel will work just fine. And then I had a yoga strap. I have a yoga strap. And if you don't have a yoga strap on you, you can also just use like a pair of pants or a scarf or just something that will allow you to create some space through your hands. We're going to be holding on to the strap and moving through some ranges of motion in the shoulders. So take a second and go grab those things, and then we'll meet in a cross-legged position to take the chant, and then we'll begin. Okay, I've actually misplaced my strap. Sometimes Jason steals it to do his stretches. So I found this belt, and literally anything will do. You'll see what we'll do with it in a second. Okay, so come and find your cross-legged position, or you can sit up onto your shins. And take all of the necessary adjustments. And then as you close your eyes or as you soften your eyes, drop your attention into everything that's making contact with the ground below you, or if you're sitting up onto something. So it might be the tops of your feet or the pinky toes, sides of your feet, your outer ankles, your seat bones. And then once you start to pay attention to these parts of you, can you start to pay attention to if you're leaning to one side or the other, what your foundation is? And for many of us, myself included in this moment, a little bit more weight is pressed one way or the other subtly because one leg is crossed in front of the other. So I'm not asking you to fix something or to squish yourself into some perfect, air quotes, perfect posture. Instead, I'm just asking you to pay attention to what it is that you're feeling so that you can make necessary adjustments in the future. So in this case, it might mean crossing your other leg in front next time. Right now, it might mean putting a little bit more pressure down through the seat bone that feels lighter. And then from your present moment foundation, start to sprout your spine, pressing down through the hips, through the sitting bones, and from that anchoring point, beginning to grow up each vertebrae, up the back of your neck. And as you begin to ascend, begin to descend your upper buttocks towards your lower buttocks so that your back isn't finding this dramatic arch, so that your ribs can softly embrace inward. Shoulders soften, jaw slackens. Take a full breath in. And then connect your palms in front of your heart as you exhale, bow your chin in towards your chest. We'll sing one Om and then do the chant, breathing in. Om. Om Sahanao Vavatu. Sahanao Bhunaktu. Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinau Aditamastu Mavi Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now slowly bow your chin in towards your chest. And let your palms or hands rest down into your lap. Palms face the ceiling, the sky. And then gently lift your head with closed or soft eyes. And go ahead and open your eyes. So take that blanket and roll it up into a little burrito like this. And I want you to kind of play around and assess where the tightness collects in your upper middle back. So I don't want this in your lower back where your back naturally arches and curves. I want you to start to find the part of your back body that rounds really easily. So generally it's kind of middle of your back, and it'll be a little bit different for all of us. So I'm not going to give you any specific landmarks, but wiggle around up and down until you find a place that just feels so good. Bend your knees so that it helps the low of your back neutralize and smooth out. And automatically, I interlaced my fingertips to hold my head, but you might choose to stretch your arms up or wide. And we'll do a couple of things here before we get into anything more dynamic. So if you feel like your head is reaching for the ground behind you, you can do what I'm doing and just let your hands support your head. And then with the legs, of course, knees are bent, but you can also choose to let them knock in towards one another. So the support, the blanket underneath of your backbone and maybe even your shoulder blades, certainly your rib bones, starts to slowly encourage expansion. So even though the pressure is coming into the back body, you might start to find some giving way, some opening, some spaciousness across your chest, the sternum bone and the ribs and the muscles that attach into it. So we'll just stay for a little while so that you can start to feel the sense that you don't have to do too much all the time, every time, to open the body, to feel something. Trace the sensation from the sternum bone in the center of your chest, laterally across your chest, across your inner upper arms, assessing along the way if there's any tension, extra holding that doesn't need to be there. Sometimes we protectively grip, and often that's not really under our control. That's something kind of ingrained in the body habitually. So simply by paying attention, we can start to begin the conversation, the undoing. All right, and then roll onto your left side into like the fetal position, keeping your side waist or sorry, your side ribs kind of high up towards your armpit onto your little blanket roll, and then stretch your left arm in front of you. and stretch your right arm in front of you. So your knees are bent like fetal position. And the movement looks like this. You reach your right arm up towards the ceiling as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, you rotate your whole rib basket to turn up towards the sky to let your right arm fall back behind you. Sometimes what I see in this is people will reach their right arm up towards the ceiling. They'll keep holding their head up the way that I am, and then they'll just let their arm fall back, and then their arm will hang. And this kind of pulls a little bit too much on the fibers of the pectoral muscles and doesn't feel so great. So I want you to really think about rotating the ribs so that you can let yourself be fully supported into the twist. And then we'll go back and forth, letting your head roll. If you need something under your head, grab a pillow or another blanket. So right hand meets your left hand. As you inhale, swim your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, slowly twist through the spine, through the ribs, to let your right arm land back behind you. And though it may not touch, it's definitely less tension across the chest than if you were keeping your ribs facing the left, but trying to open the right arm to the right. I hope that makes sense. Come up again. So right arm meets the left arm. Breathing in, the right arm stretches up towards the ceiling. And then one more time, breathing out, rotating up and open towards the right side, turning your chest up. And then just stay here for a couple of breaths now. Feeling the difference, shoulder blade to shoulder blade. Hopefully, certainly something across your chest now from left fingertips to right fingertips. And then let your right arm come back to meet your left arm. You can just roll over. I'm going to take my setup to the other side so that you can see. So now it's your right side waist that's on the prop. And even this, there's so much tension around the armpit on the back side. So where your lats and two little muscles called your teres muscles sit. So if you feel a little bit of tenderness, when you let your right side ribs rest down onto the blanket, you're in the right spot. Okay, so let your your right side of your head rest down towards the ground, and then your left hand meets your right hand. And just let it land for a moment. And then with the inhale, you thread your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, slowly turning your chest so that your left arm strings back behind you. So make sure that your ribs move with your arm. And then back we go. Left arm meets the right arm. Stringing your left fingertips up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Being patient, and then as you exhale, slowly turn your ribs, turn your left arm back behind you, open wide through your chest. Let's do two more. So left arm meets right, taking all of the steps piece by piece. First, the left arm reaches up, and then it threads back, rotating the ribs. And then one more time. Left arm meets the right arm. Left arm reaches to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, left arm threads back. And then we'll just stay in the expansion, trying to let your shoulder blades meet the blanket below you so that your left arm isn't just hanging there. And next time that we do this, my intent is for us to do this every day or all 3 days this week. Maybe next time you have like another pillow or a bolster to catch the hand that's behind you in case it's floating up in space. So give yourself one really good big breath in. And then a clearing sigh breath. Okay, and then come back into your fetal position. Carefully press yourself upright. Get rid of your blanket. You can keep it handy when we come into some lunges later. You can pat up your back knee. So I like to just fold it like this and then place it around where my knees would land and just leave it there. Okay, so next thing you'll grab your strap and then we'll get flowing, I promise. This is not, I a real strap. I don't even know if this is a belt. I don't know what it is. I just found it in my closet. But you'll take your strap, or like I said, if you grab a pair of like Lululemon pants or like any stretchy pants, they'll work just fine. The things you learn over COVID when you don't have any props. Okay, so bring your arms out in front of you. And again, you'll adjust the distance between your hands as we move through this. So first check in with the low of your back as we start to open up and flex the shoulders. And this happens in downward facing dog. This happens in Urdhva Hastasana when we reach our arms up and overhead. This happens in the back because we have stiffness in the flexion of our shoulders that the spine starts to compensate. So this is a nice way to start to train that movement of the shoulders without the movement of the spine. So I'll actually face this way so that you can see it and so that I'm held accountable, because this is a bad habit for me. Okay, so hands come to your strap at any distance and we'll adjust as necessary. And you'll simply just stretch your arms up and overhead and then back behind you. And this strap that I have has some stretchiness to it, which is kind of nice. Most yoga straps don't have the stretch, but you can just bring your arms further apart. And we're just going to floss back and forth a number of times, trying to keep the ribs and the lower back really quiet. So if you need to sit up onto a block, even if you need to stand to do this, this is really just about the shoulders. Okay, so I'll just show you for compare and contrast what might happen if you're not actively asking your ribs and your navel to be contained, right? So I could even bring my hands closer together and get the same range of motion, but a lot of the motion is happening into a part of my back that already has a lot of motion. I'm more interested in getting the motion into the parts of me that are sticky. Okay, so by now, hopefully you found a distance in your hands that allows you to bring your arms all the way up and overhead this way. So do it a couple of times. As you breathe, you can close your eyes too. Usually the inhale brings your arms forwards and up. And as you exhale, back and down. Inhale up and exhale back to where we started. See if you can slow it, smooth it out. Keep your neck out of it, keep your low back out of it. All right, now this is the best part. Once you swim your arms up and overhead and then maybe back behind you, I want you to find the part that's like the stickiest, that's a little like grippy around everything, around your breath, around your shoulders. And then I'd love for you to start to side bend into that space. So lean your right side to the right and then lean your left side to the left and expand. Remember those tissues that we just compressed into with the blanket. Now start to widen them with this tension and with, of course, your breath. Still doing your best to keep your lower back really quiet and neutral. And then come back up through center. Let's reset. So bring your arms back and down. And then forwards and up and around. There might be some heat and warmth in your shoulders, which will come in handy later. Okay, let's go again. So up and around. And then once you find that sticky spot that maybe isn't so sticky, now that we've done those lateral bends, now I want you to rotate. Okay, so keep your arms wide, keep your chest lifted, and just twist as much as you can breatheably twist. Usually inhale through center and then exhale into the rotation. And back and forth just a couple of times. And you don't need to push into your maximum by any means. This is just like a gentle little nudging into some parts, some tissues that we don't often get access to. Okay, let your strap go. And from your tabletop position, let's move right into Anahatasana, so the heart melting posture. Hips over top of your knees, start to crawl your hands forward, keep your bum nice and high. And if you start with your forehead down to the ground, actually, I kind of recommend that. Bring your forehead down, bum up high, palms flat on the floor. And this is the same kind of thing. Our shoulders are in a flexed state, similar to downward facing dog. And when there's tightness in that range of motion, the back, and especially the bendy parts of the back, like to take on that effort, that opening. So even if it means that your forehead is up off of the ground, I want you to really think about your ribs gently embracing inwardly so that they're not splaying out, so that your lower back isn't caving in, so that the really sensitive junction between your thoracic vertebrae and your lumbar vertebrae aren't grinding into each other. We'll just be here for a couple of breaths. Letting the back of your heart soften, keeping your arms strong. Take one more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, slide forward onto your belly, bring your forearms down, stretch your legs back behind you. We'll do the Sphinx posture. So shoulders over elbows, palms flat on the floor. If you need to walk your elbows a little bit further forward, please go ahead and do that. And then find your feet. Press the tops of your feet down. Press your thigh tops down. Press your hip bones down. Squeeze your bum. And then without anything moving, drag your elbow points towards your hip points to elongate your front body. Really good. Take a breath in. Let your breath go. Okay, and then let your elbows go wide, come down onto your belly. Crawl your fingertips wide, point your fingertips down to the ground, point your elbows up towards the ceiling so your palms are puckered up off of the ground. And then look down towards the ground, root the tops of your feet one more time, heavy through your hip bones, and then rise up, plug down, rise up, plug down, and rise up, King Cobra. And then as you exhale, chin comes forward, chest comes forward, and all the way down. Go again, point your nose down, plug your fingertips in, rise up through your chest, taking your inhale breath. And as you exhale, chin forward, heart forward, and all the way down. And then let's go one more time, a little different. Plug down, rise up, take a deep breath in. Stay lifted, just let your chin and chest come forward. One more deep inhale, rising. And then as you exhale, come all the way down to the ground. And flatten your palms by your ribs, taking your breath in. And then as you exhale, press back into your child's pose and tuck your toes. Maybe let your forehead make contact. Give yourself a couple of breaths to bring things back to softness, neutral, breathable. Good, and then come forward to your high plank position. Now, firm up your thighs, squeeze your butt. Downward facing dog, bend your knees, tip your sit bones up and back. Let's just move through a couple of times, coming forward, high plank pose. So ride onto the tips of your toes, squeeze your thighs, squeeze your bum. So it's not just an arm thing. And then as you exhale, move back, downward facing dog. Couple more like this, round forward, keep your front body contained, high plank, breathing in. Hips back, down dog, breathing out. And then one more time, round forward, inhale breath. And downward facing dog. As you exhale, hips go back, rise up onto your tippy toes, look forward, breathe in. And as you exhale, feet meet your hands at the tip top of your mat. Just one foot in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other. When you arrive, halfway lift, deep breath in. And as you exhale, soften and fold. Plug down your feet, reach your arms wide and all the way up. Look up, take a breath in. And as you exhale, slow motion, thumbs in towards your heart, chin in towards your chest. Let your arms rest down by your sides. Palms open, feet heavy. Feet heavy equally, so just notice if there's a tendency to roll to inner feet or to outer feet. Actually, just roll to your outer feet. Roll and let your weight spill there. And just notice what implications that has for your knees. Where do your knees go when your feet roll out? I won't give you an answer because it'll land differently in all of us. But then whatever your knees are doing, notice what happens to your hips. And then your back body, your shoulders. And then do the opposite. Let your feet roll in. Notice what the ripple effect is. Up knees, hips, low back, mid back, upper back. And then see if you can find the space between where the inner and the outer arches of your feet land evenly, equal pressure through big toe mounds and pinky toe mounds and center of the heel. A little buoyancy into your knees. So even though your legs are strong and contracted, it's not like a tight grip of the muscles to the bones. It's a sweet embrace. Elongate your upper buttocks towards your lower buttocks. Elongate your sternum towards the ceiling. Stretch your fingertips down. Stretch your elbows to follow your fingertips. Shoulders to follow your elbows. That we could take some of the sun salutations from the Jiva Mukti sequence, which are super fun. So let me just adjust this so that you can see all of the pieces. They're really warming and it might get a little bit exciting, but we'll go through it a couple times so that you get it. So the first motion is you reach your arms up towards the ceiling, hook your thumbs, and lift your chest. And then as you exhale, folding forward, but as you come forward into your fold, interlace your fingertips and stretch your knuckles up towards the ceiling, let your head go. As you inhale, untangle your fingers, come right into your halfway lift, chest forward, hips back, breathing in. And then as you exhale, fingers go down and the right toes step back. We stay in runner's lunge, so your back knee stays lifted. Breathe in to lift the chest. And then as you exhale, plant your palms, step back into down dog, left foot meets your right foot. From your down dog, come forward to high plank pose. And then as you exhale, either from knees or toes, lower half or all the way. Lifting your chest, breathing in. And as you exhale, come on back, downward dog. Without rising it, step your right foot between your thumbs. Back knee stays lifted, chest comes forward, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, left foot meets your right foot, forward folds. Stand all the way up, hook your thumbs, lift your chest, take your breath in. And right away, as you exhale, hinge and fold, interlace your fingertips on the way down. Fingers down, halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhaling, touching and stepping your left toes all the way back into your runner's lunge, taking your inhale breath. And as you exhale, step back, down dog, front foot meets the back foot. To your high plank on the inhale. Chaturanga from knees or toes, you choose as you exhale. To the upward facing dog, lifting your heart, squeezing your thighs. And to the downward facing dog as you exhale. Left foot steps between your thumbs, back knee stays lifted, take your breath in. And then right foot meets your left foot, forward fold as you exhale. Okay, we'll add one more of the layers of the sequence. So rise up, hook your thumbs, lift your chest, take your inhale breath. Forward fold, interlace as you come down. Untangle your fingers, halfway lift your spine, breathing in. And as you exhale, fingers touch down, right toes step back. Back knee stays lifted, heart comes through, deep inhale. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, a little different, listen for the change. Come forward to high plank as you inhale. As you exhale, knees come down, butt stays up high, chin, chest land towards the ground. 8-point posture. Then press your palms, slide through to cobra, squeeze your thighs, breathing in. And then as you exhale, come back through child's pose to your downward facing dog. Right away, come forward, high plank pose, inhaling. From knees or toes, lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog, use your legs to lift your chest. And to downward facing dog as you exhale. Step right foot between your thumbs. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, left foot meets your right foot, forward folding. Hook your thumbs, lift your chest. One more cycle through, taking your breath in. And as you exhale, fingers interlace, forward fold. Hands down, halfway lift, deep breath in. Fingers down, left toes step back as you exhale. Back knee stays lifted, inhale. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Forward to your high plank, in breath. Knees down, bum high, chin, chest touch the ground, exhaling. Slide through cobra on the in-breath. And then through child's pose to your down dog as you exhale. Left foot steps through, deep breath in. And right foot steps forward, fold, exhaling. Press your feet, hook your thumbs, rise all the way up, stand up, breathing in. And then re-land into Tadasana as you exhale, drift your arms by your sides. And just feel whatever it is that's moving through you, continue to move. The pulse under your skin. You soften around your jaw, your neck. Okay, let's reach the arms up, anchor your tailbone down, contain your ribs in, breathing in. And as you exhale, slowly pour yourself forwards into your fold. Halfway lift, deep inhale. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to your downward facing dog as you exhale. And just stay and linger in your dog pose now. Enjoy that still point, the familiar space. Cool. See if you can invite the back of your heart to drop a little bit more, still efforting to contain your ribs a little bit, but finding like a warmth and a softness into that stiff point of your middle upper back that you had your blanket roll in a little bit earlier. Drop your head, relax your tongue. Let's come forward to high plank pose as you breathe in. Come all the way down onto your belly as you exhale. Untuck your toes so that the roots of your feet are down. I'm going to shimmy back so the wall doesn't block me. And then reach your arms straight forward with your thumbs facing the ceiling. So what I want you to do is bring a little bit of intelligence, activation into the muscles of the middle back. And this will help you to recruit those for extension of the spine. the back of the neck is super bendy. It likes to do the back bending for us. And same with the muscles of the lower back. So let's see if we can invite the extension right from that stiff middle point that we made contact with. So thumbs face up, eyes point down. Engage your legs, muscles to bones, hip bones anchor. Take a full inhale breath. And then as you exhale, keep your chin where it is, keep your head where it is, just float your arms so that your biceps line up with your ears. Should be hard. See if you can continue to squeeze your bum and press your hip bones down so that your lower back stays quiet. Keep that inhaling. And then as you exhale, see if you can grip those muscles to lift your chest any amount. Keep your neck out of it. Keep looking down, breathing in. And then as you exhale, keep that contraction, bend your elbows, cactus your arms. One more deep breath in, and as you exhale, land your palms by your sides, press back into your child's pose, tuck your toes. From your child's pose, come forward, high plank. And from your high plank, down dog, hips go back. Okay. Downward facing dog, let your head relax. Let's reach the right heel up towards the ceiling, please, as you breathe in. Bend at your knee, roll your thigh up and open as you exhale. Think about that front part of your right thigh and what you can do to help it open and expand. You press your right foot further towards the left as you press your right hand further into the ground. Then rise up onto your left tippy toes and fan your right toes up towards the ceiling, taking your breath in. And as you exhale, curl your knee in towards your nose and place your right foot between your thumbs, sinking your left knee down towards the ground. And see, it's so nice with a blanket there. Rise up into your low lunge as you take your breath in, tail anchors down, arms rise up, taking your breath in, and let's just let the head relax. Interlace your fingertips to the base of your skull and drop your head into your hands. And see if you can relocate from this angle, that space at your middle upper back. Grip those muscles to the spine and lift. Take a full inhale breath. Stay for one more exhale. And then keep your fingertips interlaced, press your palms up towards the ceiling, taking your inhale. Keep the lift of your side waist as you exhale, bend your elbows, cactus your arms, find those muscles along your middle upper back, grip them and curl your chest towards the ceiling. Keep your lower back out of it. Take one more breath in here. And as you exhale, gather your arms forward, lift your back knee up. Keep your tailbone rooted so that the front of your left thigh is feeling expansion. I'm just going to create a little bit of warmth through the legs. It's really helpful for what's next. So arms rise up, take a breath in. As you exhale, stretch your arms back behind you, chest to thighs, bring your back knee down. Rise your arms up towards the ceiling, breathing in. Exhale, stretch back, chest to thighs, back knee lifts. Arms rise up, breathing in. Exhale, chest to thighs, sweep back, back knee goes down. Arms go up, inhale, breath. One more time as you exhale, stretch back, chest to thighs, back knee lifts. Rise up, high lunge, inhale your breath. Now don't think about it as you exhale, draw your elbows by your sides and left knee draws up into your chest. And we come right back into the lunge, breathing in, soft and thoughtful. And then as you exhale, elbows by your sides, wiggles and wobbles and flailing are invited. And then one more time, toes land back, arms rise up, deep breath in. And then one more time as you exhale, elbows by your sides. So we're strengthening through your left hip flexor as much as we're stretching it so that there's balance. And then step your left foot behind you to the right. Reach your arms up, catch your left wrist in the air, squeeze your bum. And then lean over towards the right side. And once you have your left wrist, rather than reaching up with your left arm, see if you can actually let your left arm become very heavy, almost like dead weight. That's anchored by the right fingertips. And just notice if that shifts the sensation along your left side body. Cool. Untangle everything, come through center, arms are up, big breath in. And as you exhale, fold yourself down. Halfway lifting, long breath in, long spine. And as you exhale, fingertips to, or rather palms press down, step back into your down dog. And from your down dog, come forward to your high plank position. And from high plank, come all the way down onto your belly. Same, palms reach forward, thumbs face up, eyes point down, legs engage. Take your breath in. And as you exhale, first just lift your arms so that your biceps are in line with your ears. Relax your neck again. Take a full inhale. Then with your exhale, grip those deep muscles of your upper back to lift your chest any amount. Keep your feet down, legs strong, breathing in. Keep that contraction as you exhale, bend your elbows, cactus your arms. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, land your palms, child's pose, tuck toes. Come forward, high plank, breathing in. To your down dog as you exhale, hips lift high. Left heel reaches up high, take your inhale, and as you exhale, bend your knee, stack your hip, roll your thigh up and open. And press your left foot to the left, press your left hand down. Spike up onto your right tippy toes and fan your left toes up towards the ceiling, engaging, breathing in. And as you exhale, curl your knee in towards your nose and place your left foot in between your thumbs. Back knee comes down to the ground. Both arms rise up towards the ceiling, taking your breath in. And then as you exhale again, interlace your fingers, rest your head into your hands, let your neck go. And in the still point, you can be present with your breath and in the sensations, but take this time too to be present with all the little adjustments that can be adjusted. From left big toe mound, carve your left hip crease back. From the right knee, gather your right hip crease up. Humble your chin, elongate the back of your neck. And then keep your fingertips interlaced, keep your legs as they are, press your palms to the ceiling. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, cactus your arms, keep your front ribs contained. I just had to remind myself. Stay for your in-breath, lifting up through the back of the chest. Good. And then as you exhale, gather your arms forward and lift your back knee up. Keep your back knee bent for this one so you feel the tension, the stretch through the top of your back thigh. Good. We'll reach the arms up towards the ceiling, taking your breath in. And as you exhale, stretch your arms back behind you, chest to thighs, back knee down to the ground. Arms up towards the ceiling, low lunge, breathing in. Chest to thighs, lean forward, breathe out, back knee lifts. Windy over here. Rise up, low lunge, breathing in. Chest to thighs, as you exhale, go back knee down. Arms rise, breathing in. And then one more as you exhale, stretch back knee lifts up off of the ground. Rise up into your high lunge, taking your inhale breath. And as you exhale, make fists, draw your elbows by your sides and draw your right knee up into your chest. Go 2 more times. So arms forward for counterbalance, right toes back, arms rise up, breathing in. And as you exhale, elbows by your sides, say yes, and draw your right knee up to your chest. And then 1 more time, right toes back, arms rise up, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, elbows by your sides, right knee up. Let's reach the arms up, take your inhale breath and step your right foot behind you to the left. Catch your right wrist, side bend to the left. And it's the left arm that's doing the work. Let your right arm relax. Okay, come on out, uncross your legs, undo your arms, drift your hands down by your sides. Let's cycle to the floor, reach your arms forwards and up, breathing in. Come on down to earth as you exhale. Halfway lift your spine, breathe in. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back, high plank pose, inhaling. And then sink your knees down, child's pose as you exhale. And come to sit up onto your shins. I'm just gonna demonstrate the last little bit. And we're just gonna taste this today. We're gonna work with something similar through the rest of the week. But we're just gonna try to plant this in the body on a Monday. So we'll set up kind of for camel pose. Tuck your toes under. And work to, again, elongate your upper buttocks towards your lower buttocks. And at the same time, squeeze your outer butt in. So there's lots of stability around the little joints between your spine and the crest of your pelvis. You want to keep that. And all of the work that we've been doing today to open up through the back of the heart is what we're going to try to keep our focus into. Because in camel pose and Ustrasana, it's really easy to stick the butt back, to stick the chin up and feel like we're doing this really beautiful back bend. What it's doing is constricting the airway in our throat, compressing bones that are already in a state of compression. So can we keep all of this really neutral and start to bring the back bend right here? Okay, so just keep that in mind. And it takes a lot of practice, and I forget a lot too. So squeeze your buttocks, upper buttocks to lower buttocks, outer buttocks in. And before we even come into a back bend, please just reach your arms out ahead of you. Be sensitive with your knees. Sometimes this really lands and sometimes it can be a little achy. Okay, so toes are tucked. Lean back just a little bit, just to feel a little bit of tension into the tops of the thighs. And then simply come back forward. Do that a couple of times. Leaning back, maybe increasing the range a little bit, so long as your knees say yes. Listen to your knees before you listen to me. And then slowly press down, rise up. It's going to create a little faya in the fronts of the thighs. Lean back, chest lifted, breathing in. And then press down, rise up as you breathe out. We're going to do 2 more, expanding the range as much as you feel is breathable. Leaning back, breathing in. And as you exhale, press down and rise up. 1 more time, leaning. This time in the lean, bring your hands onto your heels. Grip your buttocks from the outside in. Keep your chin neutral so you're not looking up today. And just simply grip the muscles of your middle upper back. It might not look like camel pose as seen on Instagram, but all I want you to do is feel the connection of the muscles of your upper middle back. It's tempting to just jam the hips forward or to jam the lower back. Keep your bum really strong. Keep your chin in. Focus in on the back of the heart. Take 1 more deep inhale. And then slowly as you exhale, rise back up, untuck your toes. The back bend likes to stay in the back body, so neutralize your spine and come and sit down onto your back. That's not neutral, that's a posterior tuck, but we'll go there so that the spine can come more towards a neutral space. Feel what you feel. Sometimes the heart rate is amplified or the breath rate. Let's do one more. So come up onto your knees. Let's all tuck the toes for today. So many places we can go. And then let's just do 3 of the leans into the back bend. Okay, so start at your bum. So upper buttocks towards your lower buttocks. Outer buttocks in. Lots of strength around the hips so that we don't just dip into the low of the back, right? And then chin stays humble, arms reach forward, and then lean back any amount. There's going to be lots of sensation through the tops of the thighs. Press down, rise up. Because we're gripping into the bum, the hip flexors have no option but to release. And then when we invite this stretch, this tension into that release, there might be a lot to work with. Press down, rise up. And again, we want to open the hip flexors, but we also want them to be functional. So this is good for strengthening. Lean back, breathing in. Stay leaning back, bring your arms back, hold your heels, engage your butt one more time. Find those muscles that were touching the blanket at the beginning of the class. Grip them hard, keep your chin in. Bending from the back of the heart. Opening through the front of the chest. Take one more deep breath in. One deep full breath out. Try to come up evenly. You can even press off of your heels a little bit. And tuck your toes, come to sit onto your shins. And just let that all land without fidgeting or adjusting or readjusting. Just let the residue of the posture wash through you. Okay. So it's nice to do a little bit of twisting after the back bends. So we'll go through this one little seated sequence before we come into rest. So I like to fold up the blanket and sit up onto it just to elevate the hips slightly. Bring your left foot to your right inner thigh and outstretch your right leg. If you have the tendency to hyperextend or over straighten your right leg, you can even bring like a little folded blanket underneath of your knee, and you'll know that you do it if you are feeling pain under your knee or inside of your knee. So first, both arms reach up towards the ceiling as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, bring your right fingertips to the right and bring your left hand outside of your left knee, thigh. Maybe you can lean forward a little bit today and hold the outer calf. And then if you have long arms like me and short everything else, then maybe you can hold your outer foot. So now bringing some attention into rotation, likely feeling something along the left side of your body into the deep, deep muscles of your low back and your side waist. Pressing up, rising up, take a big breath in, both fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, now right hand onto your left knee, left fingertips back behind you. Press both seat bones down evenly. Keep your right leg strong, take your breath in. And then as you exhale, twist and wring out any amount. Do one more, breathe in. And soften into your twist, your rotation as you exhale. Finally, gather both arms up towards the ceiling on the in-breath. And then as you exhale, bringing your right forearm either on top of your right thigh or inside of your right thigh and stretching your left arm up and overhead. Parivrtta Janu Shirshasana is so sweet for the side body. If you're interested in holding your foot one day, one way that I kind of cheated my way into it for a couple of years was to bring the right hand to the left thigh. This kind of makes some clearance and helps you into the rotation. And then maybe your arm can go a little bit further. Doesn't matter. Get a little embrace of your navel to your spine as you press down and rise up. And then we'll switch sides. So gather your right leg in, extend your left leg out. Make all the little adjustments. I'm always just like getting props and blankets and like rolled up socks and stuff to make this practice more doable in the moment. So the left toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, sole of the right foot to your inner thigh. And then we'll start with the twist towards the legs. So reach both arms up towards the ceiling as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, it's the left fingertips beside you, right hand either onto your right thigh, outer knee, outer calf, maybe outer foot, knowing that we're not necessarily symmetrical left to right. So one side might feel a little bit more congested. Doesn't mean it's better or worse. If you can consider everything that's being presented to you just as it is, as information, and then do with it what you can. A little bit of space as you breathe in, and then just a softening as you breathe out, maybe coming a little bit deeper or finding contentment right where you are. Grip your navel to your spine through the transitions, reach both arms up towards the ceiling, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, right hand by your right hip and the left hand comes to your right knee. And sometimes the left leg gets floppy when we're not looking at it. So see if you can keep your left leg active. Get a little bit of space through the spine as you breathe in and take that space with you into the rotation, twisting on the exhale breath. Inhaling, expansion. Softening, exhaling. Couple more. All right, unwind, reach your arms wide and up, take a full breath in. And then finally, as you exhale, either left forearm onto the thigh or inside of the thigh as you reach your right arm up and overhead. And you can stay, or again, if you're making your way to bringing your right hand to your left foot, bring your left hand onto your right thigh. This will help you kind of leverage into the rotation and reach your right arm a little bit further to the left. Cool. Press down, rise up, a little engagement of your navel to your spine. And then we'll come down onto the backs. Take that blanket with you so you can use it as a pillow. It's really nice to have your head supported for Shavasana. And I find that once you start doing it, you always feel like you kind of need it. So come and lay down. Start with your knees bent, head on the blanket pillow. Take your hands onto the belly and just roll your tailbone forwards and down, forwards and down. So like little mini cat cows to bring your spine more into a neutral state. So we just did some back bending, even the side bending. So the movement will start a little bit more dramatically, subtle as it is, and then slowly start to make it a little bit quieter and a little bit quieter so that you land somewhere where your back isn't arched, but it's not flat pressed to the ground either. Once you find that place, you can choose to have your knees pointing up the way they are or let them fall in towards one another. And alternatively, you can just stretch your legs out long for Shavasana. So as you start to settle into your final posture, just reflecting on the last hour or so, let all of the effort now go, all the effort of your breath, all the effort of like muscular contraction, of analyzing, of exploring, just now let yourself be. I'll read you a poem on your way down. This is called Mindful by Mary Oliver. She says, every day I see or I hear something that more or less kills me with delight. That leaves me like a needle in the haystack of light. It is what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world, to instruct myself over and over in joy and acclamation. Nor am I talking about the exceptional, the fearful, the delightful, the very extravagant, but of the ordinary, the common, the very drab, of daily presentations. O good scholar, I say to myself, how can you help but grow wise with such teachings as these? The untrimmable light of the world, the ocean's shine, the prayers that are made out of grass. So now let yourself fall in to this quiet moment. Let go of everything that is dense or heavy or loud, so that you have this opportunity and this window to explore the parts that are subtle and quiet, the sacred mundane, the simplicity of just observing your breath, the simplicity of feeling the weight of you held by the force of gravity. And then be held, become completely embraced. Good, and then start to breathe a little bit deeper. Becoming a part of this process, this conversation. Tracing your fingertips and your toe tips through the air. Rock and roll your skull side to side. Place your hands on your body somewhere that brings you peace. Roll to one side and gently make your way up into a seat. And when you arrive, connect your palms in front of your chest, bow your chin in towards your heart. Find equal parts, lightness and grounding. Exhale all your air. And then take a slow, smooth, complete inhalation. Oh. It's always my honor and my pleasure. Namaste, friends.